Good evening, Facebook Live, Richmond Din here, and today I'm doing part 2 of my Ask the Coach series where I'm going to allow you guys to ask any questions related to success, to mindset, to personal development, or any challenges you have in your life right now. Now, if you've been following me and you watched this last week, then you know exactly what you do. Just type in the questions, the burning questions you have on success or mindset, on growth or challenges right now. Hi Joe, thanks for jumping on. Type in your questions right now and I'll be sure to get to them in a couple of moments. Now, if this is the first time you're jumping on, you're not really sure what this is about, just quickly I'll explain that to you. So in case you don't know, the last 4 years I've been heavily involved in the coaching space, in the personal development industry. I've spent well over $100,000 on my own self-education. I've been to over 30, 40, 50 seminars, kind of lost count. I've read well over 100 books on the topic. I've been very lucky, very blessed, very honored to have spent time with the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Tai Lopez, DeMartini, Scott Harris, Tony Robbins, and the likes. I'm not saying that to impress you, but really to share with you that over the last couple of years, I've come across a lot of wealth, a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, a lot of lessons, not just from my mentors, not just from my learnings, but from my own personal experience. And I thought, well, what's the point in knowing all these things if you don't get to share it? So in the spirit of Christmas, I'm doing this Ask the Coach series where you get to ask me any burning questions you have on the topic of success. So if you're about to jump on, Joe, cool. Joe says, give some tips around time management. Great question, Joe. I'm actually going to answer that for you. I noticed you asked that last week. I'll get to that in a second, which is really, really cool. I think it's going to be really valuable for anyone, really, to get more time. The most important and the most precious resource we can ever have in our whole life is our time. The one thing we can never, ever get back. So in a second, Joe, I'm going to answer that question for you, and it's going to be really valuable. So thank you, Joe, for asking that question. If you're jumping on, Van, hi, thanks for jumping on, Van. Now, I'll wait for people to jump on and ask some more questions as well. While you guys are preparing your questions and while people are jumping on, I'm just going to quickly touch base with a question that was asked last week from Catherine about the habits of highly successful people and how to get more of it. There are many habits, and I'm going to be writing about the 9 core habits of successful people in my upcoming book, which I'll be releasing next month. All of them are important to develop, but the one you must develop first and foremost is this thing called clarity. Clarity on what you want and also clarity on who you are. You must know what your plan, your vision, your dream, your outcome, your vision. What exactly do you want? If you don't know what you want, it's going to be very hard to get from where you are to where you want to be. So you have to have clarity on that. Now, how do you get more clarity? This is going to be a game changer for you. If you ask this question every single day, at least a dozen times a day, you will be well on track to getting much more clarity in your life. And the question is this: what is my outcome? You must always think in terms of outcomes. And I'll give you an example. You may want to ask that not just in your business, not just in your finances, not just for your career, but for every area of your life, in your health, in your relationships, in your marriage, with your relationships with your kids, or with your friends. We're leading up to Christmas now. There's a lot of social events, a lot of Christmas parties, which is really, really cool, really fun. But you want to make sure you make the most of it. So I always ask myself, and I know successful people always do this as well, is they always think of outcomes. So the outcome I have for the Christmas party I'm going to this weekend is 3 things. Have fun. I want to bring a great fun energy to the group of friends that I'm meeting. Number 2 outcome is I want to deeply connect with all the friends that I'll be meeting. And number 3, I always make sure that I learn something new. I always make sure that I learn something new from every single person that I connect with. So I go there with a predetermined outcome. And I know if I achieve those 3 things after seeing my friends this weekend, I know I would have had an amazing night. So always think of outcomes. I literally ask myself that question every single day, at least a dozen times a day. What is my outcome? What is my outcome? What is my outcome? Trust me, that'll change your life. Now, a question from Bobby. Actually, no, I'm going to answer Joe's question now. So Joe said, how do you get strategies for more effective use of time? This is going to be related to outcome. Once you start thinking of outcomes, you will save more time. But more than that, the answer to that is not sexy. It's not pretty. It's actually pretty boring. And it's this: you got to plan and schedule. You must plan and schedule your week. It's like going shopping to the supermarket. If you don't go there with a shopping list, guess what happens? You buy things you don't need. You forget to buy things that you do need. You spend so much more time getting the things that you need, even if you don't, even if you get the things that you want. And you spend so much more resources getting it. Now, this is what happens when you don't plan and schedule your week or your month or your year. You start doing things you don't really want to do. You forget to do the things that you really need to do. You spend so much more time getting your outcome. And fourthly, you'll spend so much more resources. You will spend so much more resources getting to where you want to be. So you must plan and schedule. Now, when you plan and schedule, literally I would plan and schedule everything. I'll plan and schedule my gym workouts. I'll plan and schedule my work hours. I'll plan and schedule my coaching calls. I'll plan and schedule my time with my family, my time with my kids, my time with my wife. I'll plan and schedule my own downtime. I plan and schedule everything because I know I will get more done, but also I'll be more fulfilled doing it as well. So always plan and schedule. And every block that I plan and schedule, guess what question I'm asking myself? What's my outcome? Always ask what's my outcome. Hi Penny, thanks for jumping on. So I hope that answers your question. Bobby asked a great question. Well, what if I don't have time to plan, or what if I don't have time to think about clarity and I've only got a spare 30 minutes in a day? Well, I can tell you now, wow, Bobby, if you got 30 minutes a day, trust me, there will be millions of people that will die to get an extra 30 minutes a day. Trust me, that's a lot of time. That's 3.5 hours a week. I literally spend 1 hour every Sunday where I plan and schedule my whole week. I plan and schedule my whole week. I only spend an hour doing that. And every morning, the first thing when I wake up, the first 10 minutes when I wake up, I think, okay, I know what I need to do because it's already planned, but I think, okay, what's my outcome? How do I want to shop? Do I want to shop with fun or gratitude or joy or determination? I think, okay, what will make it today an amazing day? And I think of my outcome for the first 10 minutes a day. All up, if you add it up, it's only 2 hours. If you've got 3.5 hours, you've got plenty of time, Bobby. So please, Bobby, if you're watching this in the recorded format, plan and schedule and use that 30 minutes to just think about your outcome, and it'll completely change your life in terms of getting more clarity in your life. So thank you for that question, Bobby. It was very valuable for everyone to listen to. Now, one last question that Jenny asked me in private, I won't mention her surname, but Jenny asked me, how do I get clarity on who I am? How do I get clarity on my identity? Wow. Big question. Jenny, I'm going to be honest. It's a tough question to answer in one sentence. It's a tough question to answer in this format right here. So you actually gave me a really cool idea. What I'm going to do, Jenny, in the spirit of Christmas, I'm going to give you and 5 people a complimentary free discovery clarity session where I'll help you get more clarity in your life. So the first 5 people that type in clarity, hi T, thanks for jumping on. The first 5 people that type in clarity, I'm going to give away 5 free clarity sessions. So if you want that, please type it in right now. If you're watching this in recorded format, please just type it in anyway. You never know who's typing it in, so just type it in. If you want a copy of my DVD, type in DVD. If you want the clarity session, then type that in also. It's a great question, Jenny, but to really do it justice, I need to spend more time personally answering that for you. So Jenny, thank you for asking that. Just contact me or PM me and I'll happily do that over the phone for you for about 20 minutes. All right, let's answer some questions live. So Joe, I hope that was useful to you. Van asked, how do I stay motivated to succeed? So look guys, for you guys that are on right now, if this has been really useful for you, just hit the like button, send me some love, do all that sort of cool stuff. That'll be really nice. So Van asked, how do I stay motivated to succeed? Kind of touched on the question last week in terms of what drives people to do things. How do you stay focused is your hunger. So when I talk about clarity, okay, I talk about clarity on what I want, who I am, and the third thing, which I kind of touched on last week, was why do I want it? Your why will be the reasons why you do anything and everything. Your why will be the reasons why you don't do something. Your why will be the reasons why sometimes you do the things you said you will not do, or sometimes you do things that you thought you would never do. You need to ask yourself then, why do I want to do it? Why is it so important to you? Why is it a must? Why must this happen now? Why can't I leave it for next week or next year? Because if you don't understand why you do the things you do, you may do it, which might be great, or if you don't do it, which is even worse. But here's the thing. When you know your why and you complete a task or an achievement or whatever it is, you become so much more fulfilled because then you know why you did it. I'll give you an example. A lot of people chase money. And they don't know why they do it. They think it's going to bring them happiness, or they just want to do it because everyone else is doing it. And I coach a lot of people who come to me for financial reasons. They want to double the income. They want to make $500,000 in the next 2 years, or turn the business to $1 million business, whatever it is. And then I ask them, why do they want to do it? And the most common answer I get is, I don't know. I just want to become richer. And I can tell you that when you have that belief and you don't tap into your why like that, this is what happens. You become like a dog that chases a car. What happens when the dog gets to the car? It doesn't know what to do with it. And it feels unfulfilled when it gets there, and they start to think, well, shit, is this all there is to it? So really important that you start thinking about your why, not just in your business for success, but your why when you're talking about your health, your why in your whole life. Why are you here? What's the purpose of life? What's life about for you? So if you can answer those questions and clear on your why, you'll have more motivation to not only succeed in this thing called achievement, also succeed in this other area called fulfillment. Great question, Ben. I love it. Okay, Suzanne King. Great. Thank you for typing clarity, guys. Thank you. So let's see. I've got a question. I've got a couple of questions actually from people who have directly contacted me, and the questions are these. Which see how I go with time. I've got a couple of minutes actually. So the questions are: how do I find my higher purpose? How do I know what to chase? How do I find my higher purpose? How do I know what to chase? Really cool question. That sort of links into what I mentioned with Van's question, why are we here? Knowing your why. So that's linking up to your higher purpose. Look, some people get stressed out because they think, oh man, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my vision is. I don't know what my mission is. I don't know why I'm here. All I can say today is sometimes people just know what their purpose is. Sometimes people just need to create their own purpose. And in that case, where Steve asked me that, I would say, because you don't know and you haven't really connected with that, then just go out there and try to find one and do things that you think might make you happy, and that's the only way to find out. You never ever know until you start trying. But if you just stay at home and think, the universe is going to bring me this sort of gift, and I'm going to have this aha moment, and you're going to wake up one day knowing your purpose. Sometimes it doesn't happen like that. Sometimes you just got to go out there and start doing shit and realize, well, you love it or you don't, and then try something else. But you just got to keep on trying. I mean, for me, I used to be an optometrist. For those of you that don't know, and at one point, I did probably think that was my purpose until I tried something different. And I became hooked with Tony Robbins and the personal development space, and I thought, wow, that's my purpose, being involved in the coaching space. So you just never know if you don't try. So my answer for you, Steve, my best answer I can give you is please go out there and just chase whatever you think might make you happy. If it doesn't, move on, go on to the next one, and you'll be well on track to finding your purpose. Trust me, you will. But don't be so stressed that you don't have one. Just create one. That's completely okay as well. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it at that then. I trust that this has been really, really valuable to you. Vincent, thank you for jumping on. How do I deal with negative people? Do you cut them out like cancer in your life, or do you help? That's a cool question. You know what, Vincent? I am going to leave you hanging, and I'll answer that next week for you. But please Thank you for jumping on. Jump on next week. Next week is Wednesday the 20th, same time, 9:30 p.m. Thank you for jumping on, everyone. 9:30 p.m. on Wednesday the 20th. That's Sydney time. So if you're not from Sydney, if you're watching from America, from anywhere else around the world, make sure it sort of lines up. I think it might be like 4 a.m. for you. So if you're getting up at that time, you're probably a high achiever, which is really cool. But Sydney time, 9:30 p.m. For now, remember, as always, be true, be you. Bye for now. Thank you for jumping on, and I'll see you guys next week.